It's Thanksgiving, so it's time to learn how to roast a turkey and give thanks to the pilgrims and celebrate the holidays. For me, it also is a celebration of the Chinese contributions to American cooking. This is called the Chicago Chinese turkey, and it comes back in the 1920s when the Chinese worked for American restaurants, and at the time, the smell of pickling spice was everywhere. So today we're going to learn an American recipe with Chinese techniques, and this recipe was found almost everywhere in America in the Chinese American restaurants. In other words, half the restaurants were serving American food, and the other half was serving chop suey. And this is something I grew up with, and this is kind of like a remembrance of all of the great chefs in the past. So today we're going to learn how to make the turkey, and we're also going to make a giblet gravy. Okay, to make the Chicago Chinese turkey, you'll need a 13 to 14 pound turkey, okay? And you simply keep everything except the liver. For this size turkey, you'll need about 3 tablespoons of salt, and you'll need maybe half of that amount for sugar to make it really addictive. You can put 2 tablespoons of sugar, some white or black pepper to make it lively, and to make it interesting, we add a little bit of oyster sauce. This is Lee Kum Kee oyster sauce, and you'll need a mirepoix, which is a French word for equal amount of onion, carrot, and celery. And that also, when you roast it, it stops it from sticking on the bottom. So let's hurry up and put it together real fast. You see how easy it is. All you have to do is get celery, coarsely cut it. And again, this will make the turkey not stick to the bottom. Take some carrot. You don't need to peel it because we're going to strain it out to get the broth to make the gravy. And then the onion. Okay, so this is the mirepoix. Think about this is really simple. So this is the turkey is going to lay on top of that, and the secret really is back in 1920 the pickling spice. The pickling spice really has a nice smell, unbelievable. So you're going to notice the pickling spice which was very common back in the early 1920s. So all we have to do is put this into the pan. And then you, let's see here, we can throw this in the bottom. This will also help to stop it from sticking. That's the tail there. And all you have to do is take I've got the sugar here, so we'll just throw it inside the turkey's fine. And then, because of the size of this turkey, we need about 3 tablespoons of salt. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And you also have to be careful because most of the time when they sell you the turkey, they've actually brined it for you. In other words, have a little bit of salt in there already and water. So turkeys today, the modern turkey, unlike back in 1920, it's hard to make it dry simply because the manufacturers have brined it for you. So that means it simply is they've added the water. So when it cooks, the water comes out, but it's not tough or dry. And then we have pickling spice. This is 1 ounce. In other words, a handful. You go a half ounce all the way to I would say half a pack, so a half ounce. So inside, mostly inside. So when we roast this, the smell is just gonna knock you over, and everybody is going to know. And to make it even more nice, take a little bit of oyster sauce. So this is the contribution of the Cantonese to the old American recipes back in 1920. So there we go. So all we have to do now at this point, see how simple that was? So all we have to do now is take a string, tie this. We can do that later. And you take this whole thing and you put it into the refrigerator. And you wait overnight, and then we're gonna continue and bake it. So I have this turkey overnight, and I brought it out of the refrigerator for 2 hours now to try and get some of the chill out of the turkey. And all you have to do now, I'm gonna prepare this for the oven. So what we want to do is just take a piece of string and tie the legs together. Okay, just tie it together. If you wet the string and do the same thing, it's really easy. Okay, so then we simply tie a knot. And that's all it is. You leave a little bit so it's easier to find. And then all you have to do is turn the whole turkey over. Okay, as you can see, I've cocked the turkey wing. That way it doesn't take too much space. What you want to do is take a piece of aluminum foil. This is a non-stick aluminum foil, which I really love, and it's heavy duty, so it doesn't stick to meat. And what you want to do is double it and then wrap it around the entire wing, like that. Okay, and then we do once again the other side. You want to double it. Very easy. And you wrap it around the entire wing. No matter what you do, the wing, it will still get cooked and it will still brown. Okay. Now you simply set it on top of the vegetables and take some oil, some vegetable oil, and you go over the skin and you simply get it everywhere because oil helps to brown it. And we're going to put it into the oven now, a preheated 425 degrees oven. And this is a 1930s O'Keefe and Merritt oven. And the turkey recipe, of course, is from 1920. And we leave it in there for 45 minutes. Then we're going to turn it over. And so we'll come right back. So now it's 45 minutes with this oven, and it was set for 425 degrees. I'm going to open up the oven and take a look and see how it looks. Okay. So here we go. See the turkey is turning golden brown. Quickly close the oven back, leave that 425. At this point, we simply take the whole turkey and we turn it around. And we do the same thing for the other side. Here we go. So we'll take some oil, put it over the whole thing, and take a brush or hand. There we go. So all we're going to do now is put it back into the oven and go another 45 minutes into the oven. There we go. So the idea is to brown it, and depending on the thickness of the wall, it's going to change the amount of time. So it could be half an hour, and it could be like this oven, 45 minutes at 425 degrees to brown it. Okay, 45 minutes more at 425. I'm going to open up the oven now and take the turkey. Wow, I can smell the pickling spice, the bay leaves. The era comes to me of 1920s. I'm going to lower the oven to 350, and then here for the sauce part, I have an alcohol. So here I have sherry. It's a dry sherry, and all you have to do is put about, I would say, half cup all over. Okay, you can put more if you want, depending on your budget, or you can use a third or half bottle of white wine, or you can use rice wine if you want a neutral. So next we take a can of chicken broth. This is Swanson's chicken broth, which you find this time of year everyone uses it. Okay, so you can add more or less depending on how much gravy you want to make. There we go. All we're going to do is we're going to put it in there. Okay, side. So the cavity doesn't hurt either if you want. Okay, so what's going to happen now is it's going to steam cook, and so it's going to remain juicy no matter what you do. So we browned it already. Now we can take some aluminum foil, loosely seal it. Okay. And we simply open the oven, put it back in. So 45 minutes plus 45 minutes equals 1.5 hours. So all we have to do is put it at 350 degrees, and then we set the timer for 1 more hour, and it should be perfect. Okay, there we go. And we'll come back and we'll make the gravy. Okay, so it's another hour, total of 2.5 hours. I have not opened the oven, and so all you need at this point is a paring knife and the pot holder. So let's open up and take a look and see what we have, okay? Wow, the smell, I can tell you, it's amazing. Okay, we'll hurry up and close the oven. See, it's steaming. Very nice. Now open away from you so that the steam goes the opposite direction and not burn you. Whoa. Okay, nice. Okay, so you see that we have a lot of liquid for making the gravy. The turkey is nicely brown. Because of this method, it's never going to be dry. So leftovers are always going to be great. So to test and see if it's done, you simply cut the string off and you open it up. This is how you look right here. You cut right there. You see if there's any red. Okay, no blood, so it's perfect. Okay, and then all we have to do now is let it cool enough, and we're going to make the gravy next. Okay, so let's make the Thanksgiving or the turkey gravy. So I strained the carrots and everything out to this stock here, this turkey stock, this turkey broth. I have some heavy whipping cream. I have some all-purpose flour, a stick of unsalted butter. Okay, so I'm gonna make the gravy now. What you do is just cut these up in pieces so it'll be easier to melt. Okay, that'll be a big piece. And you simply put it into a pan and works great. And it's very easy. You simply melt it. Don't burn it, just melt it. Take your time. And take an equal amount, which is going to be like a half cup of flour. And you simply melt the butter. Okay. Low fire. And keep doing this. And pretty soon, you have what's called a roux. With cooked flour and fat. In our case, it's butter. If you want to make a really nice deluxe gravy, then what my uncle used to do is put some pieces of bacon in here, chopped bacon, and it makes it incredible. So you can add chopped pieces of bacon in there, or ground sausage if you like, and you can do the same thing. Keep on cooking for about 2 minutes. Okay, about 2 minutes. This way you cook out the flour. Okay. Pretty soon you'll see that it begins to be a little bit browner and nuttier. So it's very easy. Take your time. Nothing happens. It's just, and if it's too fast, just lower the fire. Okay? There you go. At this point, we take liquids. Okay? So here, we're going to need about a quart or so. And if you watch what happens when I add the liquid. Okay, a little bit. And then you see it begins to thicken. Don't add too much too fast, because I use the thickness to work against itself. This way, the heaviness of this prevents it from creating lumps. So I cook this again, you see, so I've incorporated the liquid in there. Then I add a little bit again. Okay, then I work it in again. The heaviness, see how it incorporates, and pretty soon, very quickly, it'll smooth out again. And we're continually cooking the flour as we're going. See how smooth and shiny it is? Again, we do it again, nothing to it. And so with a half cup of flour, you're going to make about a quart of gravy. Okay, you can see that it's beginning to incorporate, but it's not going to get too thick. Okay, so it's not going to get too thick now at this point. This is the thickness we like, and we're going to bring the temperature up. Okay. And bring it to a low simmer. Okay, so this is pretty much perfect, okay? If you like it thicker, simply add less liquid, okay? And if you want to, anyway, at this particular point, you simply taste it. You see how, okay, you taste it, and you kind of get a feeling where you just taste to see where you are. Delicious. Really is delicious, okay? So, to make the giblet gravy, while it's simmering over low heat, it will cook the flour out. We'll take all the parts of the giblets, which is, okay, so we're going to take the giblet gravy is nothing more than, okay, giblet gravy is nothing more than take all the extra pieces of turkey, don't waste it, and we simply just tear it apart, take all the pieces of it, because this makes the gravy really delicious if you eat it with biscuits. And it's just totally, but you have to smell this. It is, I'm beginning to salivate. Just doing this, okay? Again, like I said, if my uncle used to put pieces of bacon in there and also saute a little bit of fresh garlic. So there's the garlic bacon turkey gravy is amazing. And there we go. See how? So this is the. It's just okay. So this is the. Nothing is wasted. The hearts, the gizzard adds texture to the gravy. Now when I add this in there, boy, the gravy itself is so edible, it's crazy. Okay? And I promise you, you'll love this. You'll love this. This is really amazing. Okay, see how it thickened for the last time? And if it's too thick, then simply add a little bit more broth. If you want to make it white and even more addictive, add a little bit of heavy cream and chopped parsley to make it beautiful. So, some parsley. This would make the gravy beautiful. And here's a little bit of heavy cream. This will make it really rich and beautiful. So now you have a real nice color, right? See how it is? And people are, this is just, and then to make it really beautiful and contrast, I have a little bit of parsley. Okay. And we just need to put this into a nice gravy boat.